Today and in the future, modern data networks have to satisfy the most demanding requirements. The performance and quality of the RJ45 components will play a fundamental role in fulfilling the customer's expectations. Reichle and DiMassari started producing the world's first ever genuine Category 6 modules in August 2000, and since then, R&M has been acknowledged as the technological leader in this field. The series production of Category 6 modules is a highly sophisticated process that requires great know-how in both transmission systems and automation technology. Our fully automatic assembly plant is made up of individual stations linked by a transfer system. The three essential parts are the A, B, and the final assembly. The assembly process starts with the delivery of the contact housing. A spiral conveyor passes the correctly aligned parts to the transfer system. These stations work autonomously, meaning without central control. The process begins as soon as parts arrive and stops when the following buffer is full. In press number 1, contacts 3 and 6 are inserted into the contact housing. The contacts are pre-stamped and partially gold-plated. They are delivered as a strip. R&M produces the world's only Category 6 module that does not use a printed circuit board. This decisively enhances the reliability and service life of the product. From the jack to the insulation displacement contact, the connection is done in one single element. A camera visually checks the contact strips for correct plating and dimensional stability. The stamping and bending tool turns the flat strip into finished contacts. They are shaped in a series of operations and then inserted into the housing. In the next assembly step, the capacitor foil is applied on the rotary indexing table. The pre-cut foils are fed to a carrying strip and applied by a vacuum pad. Every single step in assembly is checked immediately. In this example, a color sensor is checking the correct application and positioning of the capacitor foil. The remaining contacts are inserted in presses 2 and 3. The procedure there is the same as in the first press. The presses are hydraulic 4-column presses and have a pressing power of 6 tons. In order to achieve the necessary accuracy in the contacts, stamping tools of the highest precision are required. In main assembly facility B, the fitted contact housing and the jack section are mated and tested. A handling device places components from the transfer system on the rotary indexing table. Pre-fitted contact housing goes through a number of stamping and embossing operations. The jack housing can then be placed in position. This too is delivered by a spiral conveyor. The choice of jack housing determines whether the finished product will be a shielded or an unshielded Category 6 module. At the next station, the two housing halves are mated together. The contacts are separated by individual foils to form a capacitor. In this operation, precise positioning of the elements is crucial for quality. The housing halves are pressed together with a slide and are welded by ultrasonic welding. As the world's only Category 6 manufacturer, R&M tests each module for near-end crosstalk, otherwise known as NEXT, dielectric strength, and electric continuity. Here we see the dielectric strength test, which goes up to 1000 volts. High-frequency testing for near-end crosstalk is performed using a vector network analyzer. The transmission properties of every single module is tested this way. At the unloading station, the modules are sorted according to their test results. This ensures that only faultless products are delivered. This concludes the main assembly operations. Next is the final assembly. Depending on the version, the shield, the strain relief, and the article label showing date of production are attached here. Final assembly begins with the delivery of the shield. The solid 360-degree shield coverage gives the module, and thus its transmission performance, optimal protection against electromagnetic effects. Today, R&M is one of the leading manufacturers in the domain of shielded systems. For environmental reasons, R&M does not use heavy metal castings in its shields. Here, the shield is being inserted into the holders of the rotary indexing table. In the next step, the pre-assembled modules are delivered. They are inserted into the shield in a complex tilting movement. Strain relief using a double gripper is incorporated into the module. The shield can now be given its final shape. In order to guarantee the efficiency of subsequent processing steps, the modules are moved by every second holder to the next one. Finally, article labels are attached. In addition to the color codes to distinguish between the two wiring options, 568A and B, the article label also includes an encoded production date. This ensures that every module is traceable. The label is detached from the dispenser and applied to the module by a holding down plate. Finally, a laser sensor checks that the strain relief and the article label have been fixed correctly. This brings the process to an end, and our Category 6 modules are ready for dispatch. Yet another high-tech product from one of the world's most modern facilities for producing RJ45 modules. Our many customers around the world rely on the quality and performance of Category 6 products made by Reichle and DiMassari. Category 6 products